Hey beautiful ladies, and welcome back to the channel. This will be the long awaited how to finally be 90% better in 2025. Now let me make you one promise before we start. This won't be like any video you've seen on self-development, at least not of what I've seen out there. This will be a inside and out change, not an outside in change like you usually see. Like, here's how to finally wake up at 5 a.m. Here's how to finally start working out, eating clean, drinking lots of water, studying, all these things. No, it's not going to be that, okay? This is actually going to be how you realize who you want to be. I'm just going to give you the mindset tools and the spirituality tools and the inner work tools that you need to do on yourself to realize who it is that you want to be, okay? And that is the most important gift that I can give you today. So if that sounds like something for you, then keep on watching. First of all, throughout this whole experience or this video, you'll see yourself as a house, okay? That's why I've written cleaning the house, designing the house, and living in the house, okay? I've written human F and M. The first level is like a human experience. Everyone goes through this. And then the next level is the femininity that you get into, like the feminine flow. And then the last part is the masculine part, where you need both. It's not a bad thing. Masculinity is not a bad thing as a woman. That's not at all what I'm trying to say. And I think it has all been like overused and thrown around, like how to be feminine, how to no, it's okay to be like have balance. And that's what I'm trying to tell you here. This applies to both men and women. We all need it, okay? And then in the on the very right side is the mirror principle. If you heard of the mirror principle before, it is everything we see is a reflection of ourselves. You're in the front of a mirror and you're frowning in the mirror and you're saying to the image, like you're looking at it and you just don't understand, why is it frowning? Like, stop frowning. Why can't you just smile? Why can't you just be happy? But how? It's an image of you. If you want the image to change, you have to change. You have to start smiling and the image will smile. Okay? That makes a lot of logical sense. Now, how does this make sense in everyday life? Okay? If you keep saying to yourself internally, money is hard to come by, there isn't enough money, I'm not good enough, I make so many mistakes, I'm so bad at this, then you're programming your mind to send those signals out and vibrate on that frequency, and that's all you see. Then it will be hard for you to earn money. Money will be hard for you to come by, and you will always experience things that make you feel like you are not good enough. And the same applies with feelings. If you feel like, what is she wearing? Like when you judge someone or when you're envy, it's a reflection of you. Is it because you would feel shame wearing that because you were brought up in maybe a religious household that told you you can't wear that, or like you were programmed with like this modesty or like all of this? Like, why are you judging? There's something in you. Or if you see someone trying very hard on their business, on their studying, or like trying to do something, just build something, or like, ugh, you'll never be like successful or anything. Like, what? Who does he think he is? That's a reflection of you. That's what you think of yourself. That's what you think. You could do this. Like, this person is mirroring what you could be doing, but you're not doing it. And that's why it hurts you and you get that feeling. So that was just a little bit more. But let's get back into it, okay? So the human experience, the level 1, okay, is that you are going to clean the house that you are. Because the house, the programming, okay, has been built by teachers, by parents, by society, by culture, you know, and this is who you've become. That's the concept you have of yourself. And the programming you've been programmed with is that maybe people have told you, oh, you look so good, your makeup is so good, or like, oh my god, how did you solve that math problem, can you help me with that? And then you've been like, it's like confirmed in your head, like, oh, I'm hearing this from everywhere, I'm just gonna grab onto that and I'm just gonna label it on myself. And that's, in the end, it becomes your identity. Now, this is the house you've built. But then there are also some parts where there are rooms in this house where there is growing mold, there's a broken window, there's a broken door, there's old dusty furniture that no one would sleep in, there is like maybe molding food in the kitchen, the water might not be running, you know. And then there are other rooms that are very clean, perfect, like it's a dream to live there. Maybe this is an example of you. Like you could have traumas. Maybe you've gone through divorce, maybe you've lost a child, maybe you've got kicked out of your dream what do you call it, education or degree or university. And maybe you going through a breakup, you know, and there's these traumas in you. And instead of doing what's healthy for you, like feeling the feeling of sadness, of regret, of shame, of jealousy, of anger, of happiness, and just feeling it and letting it go, us humans, we grab onto it and we identify with this feeling. Like we're depressed, we're anxious, we went through this. Now, no, I'm an anxious person. No, I'm an introvert, I'm an extrovert. Just feelings, like they pass, just like thoughts. You are not your thoughts, you are not your feelings. Stop saying that. Stop saying to yourself and identifying so heavily with this that you put it like you put boundaries to who you can be, and you stop growing. Because once you grab onto it, it becomes part of your identity, and then you like anything else I say no to, because I'm already identifying with this. Like let's say all your life you're like, oh no, I'm an introvert, I'm an introvert, I'm an introvert. And you grow up and someone, your job says, you know what, we have this big presentation, you need to do it in front of the whole committee or whatever it is, the whole group, you know. And you're like, no, but I can't, I'm an introvert. That's not true. It's not true. It's just what you've been identifying with. If you had let that go, if in the moments where you just experienced yourself being more quiet, if it was just that, you were like, oh, okay, now this is just an experience where I need to talk more. It has nothing to do with being an introvert, extrovert, you know, all of these labels that we put on ourselves. Like that's what I'm talking about. And it applies to your trauma, to your self-worth, like the experiences you had. Instead of experiences like, let's say you have low self-esteem or low self-respect or low self-worth because you feel like you've been used by someone in the past, or you feel like you've been too available, or you feel like you haven't set hard enough boundaries. You then start identifying with, oh, but I'm just so bad at setting boundaries. No, you're not. That was just an feeling and a thought you had in the moment. Let it go. You know what you do need to keep close to you? The lessons that it taught you. That is the whole meaning of our trauma and on all of these feelings and thoughts that we get, is the lessons. That's what we are supposed to be left with, not all of these bad traumatic experiences, feelings and thoughts that we start identifying with. So realize, become self-aware and realize you are not the voice in your head. You are not your feelings. You're just the one who feels them. Feel them, let them go, like they pass. Grief, heartache, anger, happiness, the good and the negative, they both pass, okay? Like you're a being, you're a human being, you are pure self-awareness. You are not your feelings and thoughts. Okay, now on to the next level, the feminine experience. Now you've cleaned up your house. You realized what it is that you want to get rid of. You realized your bad thinking habits, your behaviors. You've realized that what you think and feel isn't true always. It's just you that feels them, and it's okay. You can let it go. You can let it go because it's just events and things that happen and they pass, okay? Now, the next level is you now start designing the house, okay? You start figuring out, okay, you start thinking about who is it that I want to be, or who is the best version of me? How do they think? What is it that they do? How is it they dress? Who is it they hang around with? Write these questions down that I'm saying and think about it, reflect on it, write it down here and answer them. What is it that they have knowledge on? What is it that they are experts on? What is it they do for fun, their hobbies? Who is this person that is just like, I would love to be this woman. I would love to be this man. He works in this. Like, let me give you my example, okay? So the best version of me, she is very calm. She is very grateful. She always sees um the lessons and the things she experiences. She feels her feelings, and she knows that it is just feelings, and she lets it go. She doesn't hold on to it because she knows she is not her feelings. And when she thinks a thought, and when she thinks, she realizes that she is just observing the voice in her head and the thoughts. She is not the thoughts. So that gives her confidence and self awareness. She realizes that spirituality is part of everyone's world. It's not something you believe in, it's just like a radio station. Are you tuned in or are you tuned out? Because if you realize, if you see around you, everything is made up of atoms. 99.2% of that is energy. Electrons, neutrons, all of these things, it's energy. Only 0.8% of that is mass, meaning something you can hold. The rest is energy. And you feel goosebumps sometimes when you're like, you can feel your energy frequency lower and it rising. So let's say you're feeling sad, you're feeling depressed, you feel ungrateful, like, why is this happening to me? You feel very like heavy. And then as you start becoming happier, you realize, actually, I'm very grateful for this. I'm happy. It's like you get goosebumps. You realize there's this ease and this burden gets lifted off of you. That's your energy and frequency leveling up. And that's what you put out. If you're always saying, ugh, there are no good men out there. Like, it's so hard to make money. And there is like just all of these bad things. The universe will show you that because you're in a constant lower frequency and vibration of ungratefulness and pessimism and all of these things. The universe will give it to you back. You're like, okay, that's what you believe, is what you get. But if you think, now imagine a person that always thinks, oh, I have so much good in my life. I am so grateful. I am so grateful for this. I'm grateful for my health. So I'll take care of my body, of my mind. I love learning new things, and as like all of these things, how do you think this person's life looks like? It's a reflection of that. They will only see more things to be grateful for. Okay? She dresses very elegantly. She's feminine. She is always looking chic and classic, timeless, elegant stuff. And I travel whenever I want. I can bring my family whenever I want. And if anyone needs something, they can always ask me. And I have so much energy and love to give because I've poured so much into my own cup that I have no problem pouring out to others. Like, that's the woman that I see in my head. Okay, so that was the level number 2. Then realize your purpose, and you get into this kind of flow state where you're like, I know what I need to do, and then it's level 3. This is where most people start, but you need to do level 1 and 2 first. This is why they start here, and then they wonder why they failed. You need to live in the house. Basically, you need to be that person. It's like imitating until you become, because the first 20 times, maybe 30 times that you dress as this person, or you start looking into the hobbies and the interests of this person, you'll feel like an imposter. You feel like, oh my God, what am I doing? Like, I've never done this before. I feel like a failure. I feel like people will judge me, all of this stuff. And then you get more and more and more into this, and you're like, you know what? I actually like this feeling. I like looking like this. Like, I'm falling in love with it. I love speaking like this. I love dressing like this. I love thinking this way. I love how my circle is starting to form, and the people in my life, all of these things. So you need to step into that. And such an important thing, talk to yourself how they would talk to themselves. This is the reason I am here today, is because for the last 6 months I've been telling myself, it's okay. It's okay. Forgive yourself. It's okay. All of the things you did, forgive yourself, let it go. That was who you thought you were. It's not who you are. And it's just thoughts and feelings you've had, and you can let them go. You don't need to identify with them anymore. You can change. You are allowed to change. I am giving you permission to change and evolve and grow, because you deserve to see you at your fullest potential. keep on telling yourself, hug yourself. Literally, I'm telling you, it will help you. You will feel goosebumps. I know this might look weird, but literally hug yourself, close your eyes, and then be like, it's okay. It's okay. It will all pass. The good and the bad, it will all pass. Do this time and time and time and time again. And you will then you've stepped into the identity of this person. You're living in the house. Now, from the identity of this person, this being that you always wanted to be, it had nothing to do with the number on your bank account. It had nothing to do with the car that you drive. It had nothing to do with all of this. Now you realize that it was all within you. You had always had it within you to be this person. And now you're like, I know the steps I need to take in my business, in my studying, in my life. I know who I need to marry, the kind of relationship that I want. I know what kind of friends I want. I know now your life will automatically become what you want it to be. You have literally created your reality inside and out. I have gone way more in depth with how to like overcome the fear of failure, judgment, imposter syndrome, perfectionism, all of these mental viruses and disease that we have in my prior video that you can watch right here before you log off, okay? Because that will literally give you the exact tools on how to do the most important and most difficult part, which was the number one. So please, it's actually not as hard as you think it is. It's literally just starting to observe yourself. That's the first step. Just observe yourself. Observe what you say to yourself. Observe the voice in your head. Remember, it is not you. It is just you listening to it. And in the end, if you've done the work and you've listened to yourself and listened to your soul, your life will now reflect that. And then everything else will come, because now you're aligning with that frequency and being that person that naturally attracts these opportunities, that your life will literally look like that. So that was it for me today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope this was how I promised it was going to be, a different approach to self-development. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate every one of you guys, and I love you, and